Kevin, you spoke about being a firearms instructor, and clearly you've been involved in educating people. What do you think it is that keeps people in the dark in terms of the responsibility of personal protection? Why are people so afraid to look at the reality? I mean, right now, post 2020, with all of the riots, with all of the uprising of Antifa, the whether you want to call it an insurrection, but everything that happened politically, just the rampant crime here in Portland and all across the country. If you're watching the news, you don't have to even be really, delving too deep into the news. But if you have just a peripheral idea of what's happening around you, you would see that this is a very dangerous time in our country. This is a very dangerous time globally. Inflation's through the roof, gas prices. Like, why do you think that most people are unwilling to be honest about the need to protect themselves as opposed to being hopeful and willful that someone will be there to do it for them?
I think it's just human nature. Taking responsibility for your own safety can be very scary. And particularly in times like this, where we see so much upheaval and so much violence and so much crime, it's frightening. You say, and there are a lot of people. We look at people, look at how what we've seen in the last couple of years with people obeying absurd mandates, where even now, where, beautiful day in Oregon, there are people walking around alone outside wearing masks, protecting themselves from what? Driving alone in their cars because they've been told to do this. And so they're inculcated with this idea that some other force, some big brother governmental force or something out there is supposed to take care of them. Taking care of yourself, accepting responsibility for yourself and others that's a big ask. And there are a lot of people who simply don't want to do it, or they're afraid to do it. And we can see this historically. This is nothing new. You look around the world and how many countries, how many societies have been ruled by tyrants who could have easily been overthrown if the people simply rose up against them. They never had the armies to defeat everybody. But being told what to do is easy. Even if you don't love what you're being told, it's easier to have someone else make all those decisions for you. And if you're terrified of violent conflict or paralyzed by violent conflict, then the idea that this is the job of the police to protect me, you will embrace that even when the police are no longer doing it. Even when you believe, okay, I would rather risk myself and my family than take responsibility for myself. And people like you can't quite grasp that because it's so foreign, because your nature is to be a protector.